I'm back. Today is November 15th, 2023. Just another update on the oxalate dumping, my ankle, the gut, working on all those things, and hopefully my health will be on its way. And I think it is on its way. So it's now been exactly 2 weeks since I've had my second left ankle TenJet surgery for my Achilles tendinopathy. So I'll show you what it looks like. I think it looks so much better now, and it feels so much better. And I'm gonna see the doctor late this afternoon for a follow-up, and hopefully he'll say I no longer have, the boot is only supposed to be on for 2 weeks, and it's been 2 weeks, so hopefully this is like the last day. So, see? Pretty good. Feels pretty good. I think it's on its way. So, it doesn't hurt when I touch it. I mean, it's a little bit sensitive, and, the incision is closed. And yeah, I'm just really glad, happy with the progress. Yeah, so my gut. I think that is on its way too. So I am still fermenting all these foods and eating them, really trying hard to build and nurture my microbiome. So I'm excited about this. This is my sauerkraut. It's gonna be ready to eat in a couple days. So that's the next fermented food project that will probably, hopefully, will be a success. And yeah, I'm right now I'm reading Erica and Justin Sonnenberg's book from called The Good Gut. They're from Stanford, and it's a real eye opener. I'm learning so much more about the microbiome and how vital it is for our health. And I truly think that is, they say that that's a really big reason why our collective health has taken a huge hit, because over the years, our microbiomes have been decimated by our lifestyles. Eating very highly processed foods, um, having this obsession with sanitation, especially with COVID, right? Just like sanitizing everything like to death, and including our gut, which we need it to be full of bacteria, like good bacteria. And they said that like our microbiome, it's like the microorganisms, they're kind of on the endangered species list, which is really scary. We've kind of conditioned ourselves to be anti-germ, but we actually need a lot of bacteria. We need them, and they've been around for far longer than humans have. They've been like they said in the book, if you had a clock, right, and the bacteria would have been born in around 4 o'clock, and for humans, we would have been born just like a few seconds before midnight. And so they've evolved and been around for way longer than humanity has. And we really need them. So I think it's important to pay attention to them, and to like really cultivate and nourish our intestinal flora, people love cultivating gardens outside. Well, we need to cultivate this garden, right? Um, so that's what my focus on. By the way, I do not cultivate a bar garden outside. I do not have a green thumb whatsoever. In fact, if there's any skill I have with regarding plants, it's accidentally killing them. So hopefully I'll be much more successful cultivating my inner garden. Yeah, so I already feel better. I feel better. My knees feel better. And I think it's from the oxalate dumping, getting rid of the oxalates, but also my gut, I think it's healthier. I've been also taking, well, for a few weeks I took, it's called IB Guard, and it's like peppermint like capsules. It's like peppermint oil capsules, and I took that for a few weeks, and then now I'm taking oil of oregano, and I think it also has like black seed oil in it. it stinks kind of a lot, but whatever. If it helps the gut, I'll take it. Um, yeah, and I think things are healing. So it's really interesting. Last week I had a urology appointment, and I didn't see a doctor. I saw a nurse practitioner. Um, and like, she's doing her job, right? I got a urine test, and it turns out my white blood cell count was really high. So the range, I don't know what the metric is, but the range in terms of like numbers for a healthy level of white blood cell count in the urine, it's like between 5 and 10, and I was at 42. So it's really high, and my leukocytes were high. I think it's kind of the same. And she messaged me in the portal saying, "Oh, you have an infection. I've sent some antibiotics to your pharmacy." And a year ago, I would have just taken it, not knowing what I know now. And now I'm like, there's no way I'm taking those antibiotics. I'm not even going to pick them up because, that will do no favors to my gut. And it might make actually matters worse with my aches and pains all over my body. So it's very disappointing because she acted like that was the one and only conclusion to be made from the high white blood cell count in my urine. And it turns out like it could be several things. It could be a block in the urinary tract, it could be kidney stones, and oxalate crystals are actually basically mini kidney stones. So 80% of the kidney stones that people form, it's like calcium oxalates. Well, it's the same thing. Those crystals, calcium oxalate crystals, are what I believe like got throughout my whole body from eating a very, very, very high oxalate diet. I was having cinnamon, turmeric, black pepper, all these high oxalate spices and teas, um, and dark chocolate, beets, um, carrots, like all these things. Oh my gosh. Um, Almonds, just a lot of stuff. So, and I was having those things every single day. Sesame seeds, um, chia seeds. Man, all those were like so high in oxalates. So I was really disappointed. And I even told her, I think it's from oxalate poisoning. And now that I've reduced the oxalates in my diet, the tissues in my body are releasing them into my blood, and I'm getting an immune response, which explains the white blood cell count. I haven't checked if she messaged me back. She didn't as of last night. Today I didn't check, but regardless, it's like I felt like I needed to say something because I kind of want these nurse practitioners and doctors to think twice before telling patients with such certainty about what they think is happening, because it's not like a fact like as they make it out to be. You have an infection. Actually, maybe not. Maybe I don't. And I actually don't think I do. Or if it is, it's related to oxalates, and an antibiotic is not the answer. I don't believe it is. I don't think, actually, I don't think it's an infection. But yeah, that's just dangerous. And it's discouraging that antibiotics are prescribed so readily. So I often talk about, the East Africans being such outstanding runners, and, what could possibly be possible reasons, like stronger feet and whatever. And I think another big reason is a much healthier microbiome. You know, um, Lately I've been watching marathons from like 40 years ago, early 80s, like in Boston, New York, Chicago. And man, people were really freaking fast back then. Like if you compare the fastest times from like 1930 to 1970, it's nowhere, it's so much like of a margin between 1930 and 1970 as between 1980 and 2020. So both 40 years. And yes, like, it's harder to knock off time the faster you get. Yes, that's true. But even by like percentages, like it's just such a huge difference. Like it might have been like from 1930 to 1970, like 30 minutes. And now it's like a few minutes. It's like men were running 207s in like hilly courses like Boston and New York in the early 80s. And women were running 221, 222 in the early 80s. And now we have these carbon plated shoes and all this technology. And yes, now, like in the last couple of years, the world record has been completely obliterated in the women's side. So, it's 211, which is bonkers. But like, still, if you ran the fastest times at, that were the same as the early 80s, it's very possible you could still win these like marathon majors with those same times. Like if you ran a 227 in New York, which is what happened this year, you would win. And those were the times people were running in 40 years ago. So that said something. And I definitely think that the health of our collective microbiome in the Western world, it's taken such a huge hit, and that's why we're suffering so many chronic health issues, and that's why we haven't necessarily gotten healthier in the last 40 years, or 50 years. It's such a stark difference in our microbial flora, and we're not spending as much time outside. We're constantly cleaning and using these chemical agents, and it's just so bad for us. So we need to let go of our obsession with sanitation, probably not shower every day, and not, wash our clothes every day. Or if we do, use like plant-based detergents without all the chemicals. I think that those would be really good things. And yeah, just spending more time outside and in nature, and exposing ourselves to more bacteria, which have been around way, 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 way longer than humanity. So we need them. They're a vital part of the world. So I think we need to be mindful of those things. So that's that. I feel better. My knees feel better. I think my skin's gotten a little bit better. And hopefully I'm turning the ship around, because it needs to. It needs to be turned. I'm so done with these issues and feeling like a 90-year-old, with all the creaky joints and all that. I'm so over it. So I think in a year, I'm going to be like in a much, much, much better place. And hopefully even in 6 months or 6 days. So that's the update. I hope you're well. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.